Joining me now is Ben Rhodes, who served as the Deputy National Security Advisor to then-President Barack Obama. He's also the co-host of the podcast Pod Save the World and an MSNBC political contributor. He's the author of After the Fall, The Rise of Authoritarianism in the World We've Made. Ben, good to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you, Ali.
Let's talk about, first of all, Germany. The chancellor, the new chancellor, said this week he delivered a pretty scathing remarks aimed at Israel, saying that the actions are no longer justified. The UK, France, Canada, they issued a joint statement highly critical of Israel's actions. Is this a real shift in tone, or is it a reaction to how bad things are getting in Gaza? What do you make of these criticisms?
I think it's a reaction to how bad things are, and I think things are unimaginably worse than we can even tell from the outside. I think these countries have information from their own intelligence reporting, but also from some of the aid groups that are still somewhat active inside of Gaza. Because everything I'm hearing from people, Ali, who've been on the inside, is that it is materially worse there over the last few weeks than it has been since October 7th. And that's really saying something, because it's been catastrophic for a long time now. But I think the aid has been totally cut off for 3 months until we've had this kind of chaotic dribble of assistance getting in the last few days, at the same time that you've had a really aggressive return to Israeli military operations and bombardment. So I think these countries are responding to deeply alarming reports about people starving to death, about the scale of death and destruction in Gaza. And frankly, I think some of this is pressure. Frankly, Ali, I think some of this is countries that are just trying to get on the record, because they know that when people can actually get into Gaza, which has not been permitted,
yes,
what they're going to find there is much, much worse than anything that's been reported in the death toll and thus far.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the journalism we get out of Gaza is either Gazan-based journalists or, if it's Western journalists, they are censored by the Israeli government. So some things you can see and some things you can't see. Talk to me about how much of this has to do with a deteriorating political situation in Israel. The hostage families they've sort of almost, this is a very big development that there might be a ceasefire, because as of earlier this week, they were thinking they're never going to see their family or the bodies of their family again. Israel, hard to believe, Netanyahu has lurched farther to the right. They've announced 22 new settlements in the West Bank. Some people who think it's a breaking point in Israel for Israeli politics, but I don't know what that means, because you can't really bet against Netanyahu ever.
That's right. But again, I think this, too, people who are used to the rhythm of this war, unfortunately, may not fully grasp that this has moved further to the right in terms of Israeli politics. That in the last few weeks since the collapse of the last ceasefire, Netanyahu has gone even further all in with the far right of his coalition, and really an open-ended statement that he's going to try to control the Gaza Strip, that he's going to move the population there down to enclaves in the south. That he's going to escalate the expansion of really large settlements in the West Bank. This is the full agenda, essentially, of the far right of the Netanyahu coalition. And it's caused some people, whether it's hostage families or former political leaders like Ehud Olmert, to speak out in Israeli politics in a way we haven't seen. And it had also seemed like he had deprioritized. I mean, I think that the prioritization has been more the destruction of Gaza for a long time than the recovery of the hostages, or else we'd have had a sustained diplomatic effort. But he's kind of prioritized the control and bombardment of Gaza over any diplomacy. And I think, frankly, it's been the Trump administration and all this international pressure that has pulled back this effort towards a ceasefire in recent days.
So I want to explore that.
Because what we have seen is really the far right, yeah.
Let's explore that a little bit. It seemed when Trump was elected that Netanyahu was feeling emboldened. Trump made sort of comments during the campaign and otherwise about he just needs to finish this off or end it. Nobody knew what that meant. Was that just giving Netanyahu carte blanche to do whatever he wants to do? But now we're seeing some separation and some distance on some things between Netanyahu and Trump. Netanyahu is not necessarily getting the full support from the United States that he expected from the Trump administration. Trump's the guy who told him, don't attack Iran. Trump seems to make announcements about the Middle East, not in consultation with Netanyahu. What do you make of that?
I think Trump finds some things very frustrating about Netanyahu, and frankly, he wouldn't be every other U.S. president has too. And if you look at, and look, some of this is water under the bridge, right? Trump didn't like that Netanyahu didn't support the notion that the 2020 election went Trump's way. But I think substantively on Iran, for instance, there's a big difference. And I think Trump seems to be alarmed by these Israeli threats that they're going to bomb Iran, despite the Trump administration trying to get a nuclear deal. I think Trump has taken the position that he wants to have relations with the new Syrian government. The Israeli government has also bombed Syria repeatedly and occupied some Syrian territory. And I also think, really importantly, Ali, Trump was just in the Gulf. He really likes those Arab leaders in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. And I'm sure particularly in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, he got an earful about the fact that this is untenable, what is happening in Gaza. It's untenable from a humanitarian perspective, but it's also untenable from an Arab political perspective. And so I think all those things are contributing to Trump saying to Netanyahu, look, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to, certainly give you a veto over my Iran policy. I'm going to do this diplomacy. The question is whether that leads to any real separation on the Palestinian issue. Look, I think that they're pressuring them, on the phone, but they're not withholding any assistance, Ali.
Right.
So
that's
let's be clear. It's not like the U.S. is using its real leverage here.
Yes,
we're still giving the bombs that are being dropped on Gaza.
Correct. America has ultimate leverage here, and that's not being used. I want to ask you about Iran, because you remember this when you were in the administration. The Iran deal took 10 years to negotiate, the last 2+ with heavy involvement from the United States. It's a super technical deal. I suspect if Donald Trump revives the Iran nuclear deal, it's going to look very much like the last Iran nuclear deal. But it sounds like it could be there. And if he gets a deal, I'm going to call you on the show, and we're probably both going to congratulate him for doing something good. But what on earth is going on here with this Iran deal?
Well, look, let's put aside that they just wasted a whole bunch of years where they could have kept the same deal in place. I think what's fundamentally happening, Ali, is if they will allow Iran to have a very limited capacity to enrich uranium on their soil. So in other words, if they will allow them to have a very constrained nuclear program in which they're shipping the fuel out of the country, in which they're enriching a low percent, in which there are inspections, then they can get a deal. If they insist that Iran has to dismantle every bolt and screw of that program, can't do anything on their own soil, I don't think they'll get a deal, because for the Iranians, that's a point of both pride and strategy. So, look, I think if Trump wants a deal, there's a deal to be had. It'll look a lot like the Obama-Iran deal. They'll find something. It's tougher. It'll be 1 year longer. They'll enrich with a few less centrifuges. But fundamentally, it's the same structure of a deal. If you want to avoid the conflict, that's the deal that's on the table. And I think that they're more likely than not to take it.
All right. Well, we will have lots to talk about, my friend. Thank you, as always. Ben Rhodes is a former Deputy National Security Advisor to then President Barack Obama, MSNBC political contributor and co-host of the podcast, Pod Save the World.